As you can see, there's not much of a hike involved at the Broch. At the top, just right of center, you can see our Range Rover parked in the small parking lot. So I want to start this video, in which the primary subject is at the ground level of the Broch of Dun Beag, by showing a short clip of drone footage. This way you can get a better idea of the layout of the Broch before we hike to it and observe it on the ground. I have a dedicated 4K cinematic drone video presentation of the Broch here on my YouTube channel, if you want to check that out. Well, it's April the 19th in 2021, and Moira and I are on our third trip to the Isle of Skye in the Scottish Highlands. The last time we were here, in November of last year, it pretty much rained continuously the whole time we were here, and we had to fight the rushing waters and the mud to hike and attempt to get stills and footage for my artwork and my videos. The weather is quite different here now, but still not ideal. The rain is sparse and the conditions for the week have been dry, but the wind has been crazy. Today we are at the Broch of Dun Beag to shoot new footage to create a new and better video of the Broch, and to hopefully get some drone footage as well, although for today flying the drone is pretty much out of the question as the winds are gusting to above 30 miles per hour. Hopefully we can come back tomorrow or the next day and get the drone footage. However, this 4K video shows the immense beauty of the Broch, the Scottish mountains, and the coast of Loch Bracadell. So you ask, what is a Broch? A Broch is a round stone tower type construction, apparently only found in northern and western Scotland, that was built probably to serve two primary purposes: protection and prestige. The Broch of Dun Beag is one of the best of these structures in its condition. As you can see, there are a massive amount of stones laying all around the outside and within the Broch, with a lot more scattered down the hill that have become buried in the soil over the years. It's hard to imagine how much work it took to build a massive structure like this by hand, and then to still have a good deal of it standing after a couple thousand years. Brochs could reach heights of up to 42 feet, with Dun Beag being about 32 feet tall. The exterior is about 61 feet in diameter. According to Wikipedia, the Broch was excavated the first time by the Countess Vincent Ballet de la Tour around 1842, and then again, more carefully, around 1912. Some 200 tons of earth and stones were removed from the Broch, and various stone implements, jewelry, tools, construction materials, and Roman artifacts were found, along with a wide selection of old gold coins dating all the way back to Henry II. The Scottish Brochs are believed to have first been built around 200 BC and continued to be lived in until the 1500s. The basic structure consisted of round, double concentric walls with stairways running between the walls, allowing access to the upper floors and top. The small open space between the two walls was probably also used for ventilation and insulation. The purpose of the Brochs were for defense from invaders and as a sign of prestige, wealth, and power of the local chieftains and their clans. Let's take a look at the interior of the Broch. The interior of the Broch is about 36 feet in diameter, and the average total wall thickness is about 13 feet. You might think that a wall this thick might be overkill, but most stone castles have walls that are about this thick or even thicker. Moira and I lived in a small village called Castle Carey in Somerset, England when we first moved to the UK, and the village was named after a castle that no longer exists there. Over many years, the abandoned castle was slowly dismantled and the stones were used in the construction of many of the other buildings that now make up the village. However, when the castle was still intact, the walls of the castle were 15 feet thick, and this is common of most medieval castles. The common arrangement of the interior structure of the Broch is the ground floor would have been the barn where livestock were kept. The first floor and up would have been where the residents lived. The structure would have had a wooden and thatched roof with a rampart around the top for defense. Sheep are literally everywhere in this country, and I mean everywhere. I think there has to be a lot more sheep here than there are people, but the animals are simply lovely. This view from where the Broch sits is indescribable. I mean, if you had been standing beside me looking down on the valley in Loch Brochadale, it would be easy for you to understand how I fell in love with Scotland and never want to leave. It is the closest thing to heaven on earth for me that I have ever experienced. It is just such an amazingly beautiful country. I really love Scotland. As you look at the stunning landscape view from the top of the hill that the Broch at Dun Beag stands on, I want to let you know that I've created artwork from the base images I captured on the several visits to Skye, as well as a beautiful panoramic piece of art of the very landscape that you are seeing in this video. You can view this artwork on my website at www.seagatelock.com. Thank you so much for viewing this video and allowing me to share just a wee bit of the incredible country I call Scotland.